Hello, hello, hello. Oh my gosh, I'm spilling water over myself. So that means I am wet. I am wet. Like literally and also behind the ears. I'm still learning things and I'm still improving. So this is the creative and artistic manifestation. Some may call me the white collar goon. I am just a vessel. I am just the conduit. I am just the instrument. Um, that I have prayed that the Lord can use me or utilize me um, in whatever ways he sees fit. So that's where I'm at right now. Not attempting to identify with any name, moniker, nomenclature, adjective to make me feel substantial or provide me with any value. If anything, that if there's any name that you can call me, you can just say instrument or you can say servant. But if not, you can just say, oh, that's color goon. That's the white color goon. Oh, that's angels in politics. No, 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 no. You heard. The world is angels in politics. The universe is angels in politics. It's about how your mindset, your your thought process is really going to dictate whether you are living and going to be in alignment with the angels, or if you're going to choose to go for the physical, the tangible, the earthly, which we do have to balance, and that's truly what angels in politics is. It's the equanimity. It's the yoga, it's the union, the permanent and the impermanence. It's the spiritual and the physical. It's the it's the yin and the yang. Okay, the lunar and the solar. So Loon Feminine will be coming in the future. Please, I mean, like, get yourself prepared for that. Um, Somebody might say Loon Feminine. Like, do you speak French? I mean, I'm getting there. The answer right now is no, but I'm getting there. So I wanna, well, first and foremost, before I get into my topic today, because I want to piggyback off of what we spoke about last time. This might be your first time watching this video. Um, I was speaking about cosmetics and makeup as it pertains to the divine feminine, and not the divine feminine energy, just women in general and their divine or their divinity. So before we get into that, have you had a meal? Have you had your dinner, lunch, breakfast, something like this? Okay, so you're fasting. Oh no, you're not fasting. You just haven't broken your fast. Okay, so that's all right. You don't break your fast right now. I have eaten already, but this is okay. So yesterday I was speaking to you about, so I used to work on the cruise ship. I was a seafarer. I was living amongst the seas or on the seas, or I can't say I was at one with the sea because it was very rocky as it is in the water. It was very back and forth. There was some turbulence. There was some melancholy. There was a lot of despair. There were also some very high points as well. But most of the time, well, it was a great time. But there was a lot of times where I was still undergoing, and I still am, this awakening. So I had some highs and some lows, and the best part of the experience was my job, and I worked every single day, and I work with kids, and I work with teenagers, and I have been blessed as I'm just very blessed because I I prayed to God to use me as a vessel, and I ask Him, as I decrease, I want you to increase. So I want my physical self, my spirituals. I want my physical self to lower, my physiological self to be stripped down or be broken down, so I can be built up in the image of Christ, and how my spiritual vessel can be full with him. So I ask for guidance. I ask for guidance, and I ask to be used and position, take my passion with my personality, position and pivot to align myself with the purpose. So that's the 4 and 5 piece. With angels and politics, of course. But with my purpose, I found that I do have a proclivity, or I do have a certain predilection, or I do favor. That's a easy way to say it. Children. Well, I like people altogether, but like I like kids, and I like teenagers, and I like preteens, and I just like the whole. I mean, I like babies too, but I definitely That's not like my 100% strong suit as far as like changing diapers and all that type of stuff. But like hanging out with them and just like interfacing with them, I like to talk. So like when they're babies, they can't really speak too much, but they have a lot to say the least. But I was working with kids and I was working with the teens, and we would play these icebreaker games to get people talking, to get people comfortable, and I really enjoyed that. I thoroughly enjoyed that because that was like the building of relationships, and you realize that that's what life's about: establishing, sustaining, cultivating relationships. And life is also about meaningful work, so figuring out what your spiritual gifts are and using your gifts as a level of as a medium between your relationships and your work. And hopefully, if you're in alignment, your gifts and your personality and who you are as a person impacts both of those spheres. So it just culminates and coalesces into a beautiful union of a system. And you have your system of synthesis, your system of synchronicity. Hey, you have, and your relationship doesn't always have to be, oh my gosh, I'm in love with this person and we have this wonderful house and home with a white picket fence and we have a 3-car garage and we have a self-driving Tesla and our kids go to a private school, and I graduated from some Ivy League school, and my wife has some double law degree from some place you've never been and never heard of. Like, like that type of thing. So, no, it's actually like you can have a relationship with your church group, or you're in a band, your bandmates, or you're in a knitting club or a book club, or you just have close friends that you just grab a drink with, or you have some homegirls that you just hang out with, and you do Pilates, and you like to occasionally go to the museum and drink a little wine, like whatever the case may be. Like that's meaningful relationships. Whatever is meaningful to you. Maybe you might have a dog, maybe you might have a lot of cats, maybe you might, like whatever the case may be. Maybe your meaningful relationships might be with the plants, and you have a garden, and you're just on it. So life is about meaningful relationships. I hope you have more relationships with people than just your plants, of course. I mean, nothing's wrong with being a farmer, but like share that farm with somebody. And it could be a pet. It could be your homegirl. It can be your parents. I would hope your parents or your family unit is strong. I mean, I'm going off on a tangent, but so yeah, I felt like I did, but I don't know if I truly did. We will play these games where I would hopefully assist with the teenagers who are kind of shy or moderately shy, or whatever the case may be. Make or establish friends, because they will be on the cruise for a week or sometimes even longer. And the people that they met the first day or two really played into if they really enjoy themselves on the cruise. And so one of the activities was majority rules, and we asked questions like, so, what does a guy look for in a woman, or what? And we're asking teenagers, of course. So what does a girl look for in a guy, and what girls are the most popular in school, or what makes a guy really popular in school, and these different types of questions are, what do women look for in a friend, like a female friend, and what do guys look for in friends, and these types of just social dynamics. The social dynamics were being interpreted in various ways, but we will just provide them with the question, and each kid, or each teen sitting in a circle or sitting on the couches could answer for themselves, and we'll see if there was some commonalities. Normally there were, and see what the majority was. And it's not like the game was called Majority Rules, but there were never right or wrong answers. Really, it was just a way to get people speaking, get people's perspective, get people's thoughts, just get their thoughts on how they view their social landscape and their social atmosphere. So boom, the question was, what do guys find, what kind of girls, or what type of girls? We didn't use the word archetype, but that's truly what it was. But what was the archetype? What was the archetypal girl for for everybody, so girls could answer what their perception was, that what they perceive guys archetypal woman or girl was, and then guys could express what their view of the archetypal or the hot girl or the girl that the guys wanted to be with. So like, you had some interesting answers whereby guys would say, "Oh, it's not necessarily about her looks. It's really if she has a good personality." And I would tell them to always expound upon that, because it's like, hey, like, nobody's giving you a lollipop at the end of this. Like, there's no like prize. There's no, like I said, there's no right or wrong answer. I get it. You're trying to like not ruffle feathers, or maybe you've seen some bullshit on like Jeopardy or some of these like Miss America shows where they say, "Oh, world peace" or some shit. Like listen, like say what you truly like believe. Like, are you looking at a group of women and saying, oh, or a group of young ladies, and you're 15, 16, 17, you're saying, whoever has the nicest personality will be the girl I'm going for it. And it's like, maybe that might be the case. I mean, I can't refute that, but expound upon that. What is a good personality? A good personality to me is something different to you, and the good personality to the next person could be totally different from us two, right? So we'll see. So there were some answers like that, but the guys were actually very the majority of them, which makes sense. I guess we're fairly conservative with their answers, because I guess for obvious reasons, a lot of them maybe don't have or didn't have a lot of experience. Even though you don't necessarily need experience to say what you like, but I guess so. It's like, I'm almost 30 years old, and to a point, somebody might say, "Man, I don't really know what I like fully." I like what I like, but it's like, I don't know what I'm still learning about what I like as far as the divine feminine and the archetypes. And so to ask a 14-year-old or a 13-year-old, it's like, "So what do you like in girls?" It's like, they were giving you some funny answers. Personality, hope she's nice, hope she's not self-centered, which is good answers. But by the time they were like 15, 16, definitely by 17, guys were a bit more vocal. And but most of them were saying things like that. Personality, they kind of stayed away, or they strayed from mentioning physical attributes or aesthetics for the most part. And I think they did that definitely to play like, the safe role. There were some guys who were the outspoken ones in the group, and you always have those type of guys every cruise, so to speak. Not so to speak, literally every cruise. There was always going to be some guys who would be like, "Oh, I like girls who were, thick, or they were boom, 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 or they was like this, and the girls who were about this, and whatever, whatever." But it was really funny, because the young ladies were giving, to me, more like concise and succinct and candid answers that were pretty spot on for the most part. And I believe they were saying that because it's like, yeah, guys, we hear you say, "Oh, we like the nice girl who's smart and who's, uh who whatever, who's a good person," whatever the fuck that means, right? So it's like, we hear you say that physically, we hear you say that out of your mouth, but truth be known, this is what guys like. And when you hear what the girls are saying, it was like, okay, guys, so is there some truth to these statements? Is there some correspondence here? Are there some commonalities here? Is there are there parallels here? Because I'm hearing all kind of, emotionally driven, surface level, I'm in some PG-13 rom-com like Twilight bullshit answers from these guys. But homegirls are saying, look, guys like girls who wear a lot of makeup, guys like girls who are thick. Guys like girls who have womanly bodies. Guys like the girls who are a bit more developed. And that's me actually saying it in a more, I won't say refined, but a bit more of the, appropriate ways. But they weren't being inappropriate. Actually, I don't believe in what, if you're being true to yourself, I don't believe that's inappropriate at all. I feel like a lot of those girls were just saying like straight up, it's like, yeah, guys, check out your body. So it's like, depending on the body type that most guys like. And I think they mentioned, like, in a lack of better terms, men go for the girls in high school who are a bit more developed. What does that word mean? The women, the girls who look more womanly. And what makes a girl or a female look more womanly than the next female? And I guess it would be parts of her body that men don't have, that you would be able to indicate from, if you were to see just a shadow figure, two shadow figures from, a distance. You'll be able to ascertain which one was male and which one was female. And for the male, you can ascertain this, or you will be able to delineate this based on certain features of a human body or a male body that distinguish him as a male from a woman, or a man or the masculine from the feminine, based on certain attributes, i.e., shoulders. Shoulders are a big one, i.e., posture, the way he walks, i.e., upper body, things of that nature. So definitely the upper body, back, shoulders, things of this nature is like, oh, we don't know what this person is. It's so far away and it's kind of dark, but I can presume almost automatically, almost like 99.9%, that's a guy the because of those physical indicators. But what about women, though? What are the physical indicators for women? So they tend to be hips, hair, um, um, chest, breast, backside, thighs, legs. So a lot of these things are like, okay, so we know from a distance, from the size of her waist, from her waist to hip, what's it? Waist to hip ratio, from the waist to hip ratio. We don't know what this is. It's dark. They're far away, but I can almost bet my bottom dollar that's a woman, because of her waist to hip ratio, maybe because of her hair. The longer the hair probably makes a woman, not probably, I think statistics have shown, like, the longer hair has been deemed as more feminine, even though there are guys who have long hair, of course. But like, hair, waist, hips, backside, chest, very much so. And the more pronounced the chest and backside and hips and waist to hip ratio makes I guess, shows the more short shows in the cognitive sense. It's like the triggers are going off. Woman, we see woman, feminine woman. And you can be the divine feminine, you can be very feminine and not have a pronounced backside or waist to hip ratio, or have long hair, or have any of these things that I mentioned. But I'm just talking about for the visual aspect, because men are predominantly visual creatures. All right, so women were saying that women were saying that guys like the physical guys like women who are a bit more developed. And they didn't say a bit, they definitely like the women who are more developed physically. And then they said the makeup. Okay, then they said the makeup. So I'm going to get into the power in that statement, because that'll be my next video. And I'm sorry, well, I'm not that sorry, but I have to bring the context, I have to crystallize all of this, because I never really thought about it until, like, this, like, 16-year-old girl said that, or 17-year-old girl said that. She was like, guys tend to like girls who wear a lot of makeup, or the ones who wear the most makeup tends to be the guys, tends to be the girls that guys like the most. And I thought about it, and you look at cheerleaders. A lot of the cheerleaders tend to have a lot of the solar energy, and I mentioned that before. But you rarely see cheerleaders without makeup. You think of the girls who were like the popular girl in school, or the it girls in school. A lot of them, the majority of them did wear makeup, and I mean, I like girls with makeup. And you almost presume, like, this is like commonplace when you look at the women on television. You look at the magazines. It's like, oh yeah, they wear makeup. Like, girls wear makeup. But there's like so many women. There are like so many women, particularly here in the Western Hemisphere, so many women who don't wear makeup, don't know how to do makeup, don't have an interest in putting on makeup. So it's almost like there's a world of girls who don't fall into this category. And are they like not like still like well received? Are they not feminine? Are they not like? Of course they're still well received. Of course they're still feminine. It's almost like they are overshadowed, or they're not even presented, or they're not even talked about, or they're not even showed in contrast or in comparison to this archetypal, quintessential, cosmetic makeup developed girl. Namaste, namaskar. We're gonna get into part 3 soon.